What's up, Money Jungle fam? It's been a minute. I just needed to take a break so I can kind of absorb everything that's happening in the market. It's absolute pandemonium out there. And is it good? Is it bad? How is it going to help you? What should your philosophy be? I'm going to cover all these things today in this video, okay? So first, I'm not a financial advisor, as I've previously stated, but I do follow the market closely, and I have had success, and I do have my own plan for investing and making a more wealthy future, and I want to share my knowledge to you so that way you can find your own strategy as well, okay? So, what's happening today? Well, I mean, what's happening in general? So everyone's talking about GameStop. GameStop. So this stock has been heavily shorted, meaning people and mainly institutional buyers and hedge funds have been betting that the stock is going down. And they're even kind of forcing it down. It's really kind of they kind of manipulate the market that way. They manipulate stocks that way, and then they can acquire their assets. They can acquire all these things, and then they can, just make a bunch of money off of another business failing, right? Which is terrible, because during the pandemic, a lot of these businesses are hit hard, and yet these hedge funds are just taking advantage of it. And this is not new. This has been happening ever since trading has been a thing. So, but before, the little guy didn't have a say in it, right? But now you have Wall Street Bets, which is a forum on Reddit full of retail investors like you and me. And these people are, there's a lot of really great information on there, and there's a lot of people who really research this stuff well on there. I mean, there's some crap on there too, but you can kind of look through it and kind of make your own decision. But it's very, very interesting how these people banded together, and they've invested in the stock, and they've basically forced the stock to go up. And so what happens is, when you short a stock, you're basically reserving the shares of the stock, but at a cheaper price. So as the stock goes up, then the shorts lose money, right? So that's what they wanted to have happen. They wanted to land a blow to these hedge funds, right? So, I mean, there's some people that say that fundamentally GameStop has a future. There's some people that say it doesn't have a future. It's really hard for me to say, because I loved it. I went to GameStop a lot as a kid, and I bought lots of games there and lots of stuff there. And actually, I take my kids there. They love going in there. And it's really hard to say. If I had to go based upon the service level understanding, I'd say I don't know how they can survive, with everyone digitally downloading games and also buying games online, via Amazon and, whatever online retailer that you choose. And so it's really hard for me to say, but if they are able to change their business model, which I've read about too, which making maybe a VR experience, or maybe something that you can't get at home unless you have like $10,000, a $10,000 setup, that is. It could be something, and the game market is huge. I believe it's like $150 billion a year market is, video games currently. Fact check me on that. But it's really, really interesting, to see that. And, Chewy, I don't know if you guys know Chewy, and don't worry, this is all related. Chewy, one of the chairman, Ryan Cohen, now he's on the board of GameStop, and that was a huge catalyst for people. So people started buying more of their stock, and I think more and more people noticed that GameStop was heavily shorted. So anyways, so you have these buyers that want to buy the stock lower and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and basically make it the company go out of business and accelerate that. But then now you have Wall Street Bets full of millions of people putting forth this message of, let's buy, let's push the stock up, and let's make these short sellers have to close their positions. Let's make a dent to them. And finally, after all the stuff that's happened on Wall Street, after hedge funds for many, many years have had control over the markets, while us little guys are just trying to make it and trying to do our best with investing, we landed a blow. We landed a significant blow just in January. It was like $50 billion, that these hedge funds lost. And I believe Melvin Capital and they lost like $50 billion because of this. And it's been a crazy, crazy movement, okay? So it's really great to watch and all that. I am not invested in GameStop. However, let me tell you some things that I saw. First, have you guys ever seen that movie, The Big Short? That's basically about the housing crisis, where all these lenders were giving people, subprime loans, and everything just kind of crashed under them. And it's like Christian Bale played this character named Michael Burry. And so Michael Burry has been making some pretty, he's been on the news making some, predictions. And basically, he's saying that, he's been invested in GameStop for months, maybe years. I was always wondering why. I was like, wait a minute, this guy, why is he invested in GameStop? It's very, very peculiar. So I started looking at it, and I was like, okay, well, maybe this is, maybe there's something I just don't understand behind the scenes, and, all that. And then I did notice that it was shorted quite a bit, but, I just didn't really think anything of it. And mind you, before this, do I have FOMO? Heck no, I don't, because I have a plan, and we should have a plan, okay? So, I'm looking at these things, and I'm kind of seeing it over months and months, and I'm kind of like, okay. Then I start hearing it more and more about it on forums and on Twitter and all that. And, I'm not going to lie, I get a lot of my news and a lot of my investing information from great analysts and great people that are very knowledgeable on Twitter. And so, I start seeing that, and I start, kind of hearing about it, but I'm still, I'm a fundamental investor. I want to buy things I really believe in. I want to hold them and never let go, essentially. So, and that's what I want to teach you guys too. That's why I'm really pushing this, okay? So it's really interesting to watch. It's really great, things that are happening with it. But at the same time, we have to have our plan. Don't get a bunch of, like if GameStop goes to like, I don't know what I think it's like 380 or 350 or something today, and don't YOLO on it and just put all your money in it and then say, okay, well, when it goes to $1,000, I'll have 3x'd my money. It's like, if you want to like be a part of history and you have some money lying around, you want to buy one share to see what it does. I'm not doing it, but I know some people that do it, and okay, that's fair. If you're not risking any more in your portfolio, but really, what has this done? Okay, what this did is, man, there was a pretty good sized correction last week in the market. Like a bunch of stocks went down, and so for me, I did actually buy AMC was kind of on the list, for GameStop as well. Like GameStop, and then AMC is kind of, it's median. I think it's like 50 to 60% shorted, and which is pretty high. It's a pretty high number. But so I did actually buy some call options for that, and my strike price was like $4, and now the stock price is like $16. I know a lot of people don't understand options yet out there. I'm going to cover that on a later video and just kind of break it down. But anyways, I just did that. It wasn't very much money. It wasn't anything that if I lost the money, I wouldn't make a dent in my portfolio. I was just trying to see, what happens and learn on my own and kind of get my feet wet with it. Okay. But so far, I haven't lost any money on it, and it's made pretty good money. So I'm just going to kind of feel it out on that one. So anyways, so then we have all these other stocks that are coming down because the market's kind of confused, It's like, well, wait a minute, because I was thinking, well, maybe to cover their losses on the short positions, maybe these hedge funds are selling stocks from other companies that maybe have that are maybe they view as overvalued, such as Tesla or maybe even Apple, or companies like that. And so there was just a lot of uncertainty. So the market went down pretty substantially. And now there's a lot of people that really freak out when this happens. But really, I get excited. I get really excited because I say, man, this is like something going on sale. It's like you want to buy your, favorite pair of shoes, but they were $300 before, and now they're $100. It's like, dude, let's go buy them. And that's how I felt, because Tesla stock, after S&P 500 inclusion and all the way up till earnings, it hit $900 a share, and then it hovered around 860 to 880, I think. And but now we're looking at Tesla stock that was like, it ended the day Friday at 788. Right? I'm like, dude, anything below 800 is a total deal on this. And again, for me, I'm just acquiring shares. That's all I'm doing. I just want more and more and more shares, because I'm a Tesla bull. I'm a massive Tesla bull, and I can get into that. I'll go into that a little bit on this video, but anyways, I just want more and more Tesla shares because I see what the company's doing in the future. I drive a Tesla. I super love it. I can't drive anything else now. Like, gas cars seem totally like dinosaurs to me now. And I've listened to earnings calls. I've read, earnings reports, and I follow the company very, very closely. It's one of the companies I follow. It's my biggest position, definitely. And I believe that we're just at the beginning of the growth. So this all relates. So Wall Street Bets has their war with hedge funds, right? And they land a significant blow that's never happened before. However, it kind of makes the whole market uncertain, so all the stocks kind of go down. And I view this as an opportunity to buy. So I swoop in and I pick up more shares, and I bought some more call options on Tesla because it was on sale. And even Apple. I snagged some more Apple. And oddly enough, some stocks that I didn't really think would go up just have been kind of steadily sitting there. So this is just a storm, right? This is just a storm, and this is just temporary, okay? It is unprecedented. This kind of thing hasn't happened before, and I do philosophically think that it's great. And I think that it's great for the system. And, maybe there's ramifications that I'm not seeing yet, but I'm looking at it closely and learning every single day, as things come about. And I think a lot of even professional analysts and people who have been in the market for many decades feel the same exact way. So anyways, so Tesla, okay, so what happened with Tesla? So they had their earnings, right? And their earnings were fantastic. And this is just an example of things to look forward to, look at when you are investing in a company. And so I see their future, right? In 2020, they delivered 500,000 cars, which they made that prediction in 2016, which is nuts. They delivered and sold 500,000 cars, okay? And their energy business has grown. Their costs are decreasing. They have $20 billion in cash. They don't have any, they settled out some debt, maybe some $2 billion debt, which that's huge as well. But they essentially have $20 billion in cash just ready to deploy if they need to do, more research and development, build other factories and all that. The demand is monstrous. They have their factories in China, and they're building their one in Berlin and Austin. They still have Fremont and, all that. And, but the earnings call and the earnings report was a little bit deceiving because the numbers that people were looking for, mainly, which I think doesn't really, this is what you have to weigh and balance. If you just look at the numbers by itself, you think, well, that wasn't as good as we thought. But if you look at the big picture, you can say, oh, well, this actually makes a lot of sense. So first, the EPS, the earnings per share, that means, of their, whatever their share price is, what their actual earnings are from that, the Wall Street and analysts were kind of saying, well, we think $1 per share, $1.01, but it ended up being 80 cents per share. So everyone's like, well, it's a miss. Well, yeah, it is a miss. Okay, well, let's keep going here. Their margins were lower, so that means that their actual profits from each vehicle that were being sold were actually lower than normal. But again, there's a reason for that. Okay, so I was kind of confused too, but at the same time, I kind of put two and two together. Like, they're investing in the future. They're ramping up everything. They're ramping up their factories. They're really at the beginning of their S curve, if you guys know what that is. So that's like, adoption of something new, right? So you start here, and we're about right here, but then it's going to drastically shoot up and then kind of level off like that. I mean, we can see that with the iPhone, what happened there. So anyways, I listened to the earnings call with Elon, and he said a lot of very interesting things, okay? And this is why Tesla will grow exponentially in the future. The reason is, first, the notion that they're a car company, forget it. I mean, if you're an investor, just forget it. They are a tech company, and this call proved it. One, they're starting to let other car manufacturers use Tesla's supercharging network, which is basically like their equivalent of gas stations or filling up, right? So Tesla owns all that. So that means if they get more car companies to use that, then that means that money goes straight to Tesla. Okay, that's awesome. And two, and this is in no particular order, it's just how I'm thinking of it off the top of my head. Number two is full self-driving, right? So full self-driving is ramping up. And yes, I agree, like Elon has been promising this for 2 years. And he's really been kind of sandbagging not sandbagging, but he's been too optimistic about the timeline, I should say. And so he said 2019, okay, everything will be, feature complete by the end of the year. Then 2020, full self-driving is coming this year. And then on the earnings call, he said, we're going to be level 5 autonomy by the end of the year. So then everyone's like, well, yeah, right, Elon. However, the only difference now is that there's actually 1,000 beta testers for full self-driving, which means driving from one point to another point with no driver intervention. The car drives itself, like from your driveway to your destination and back, right? And I've watched a lot of these videos, and it's pretty amazing. And it's really awesome. And I mean, I won't go into the details of how the technology actually works and what the purpose of the technology is, but long story short, I believe that it's the edge that Tesla has over everyone else. And Elon said they have already met with other big car manufacturers about them using Tesla software in the future, right? That's huge. So think about that. Like, right now the Tesla upgrade for that software is $10,000. Well, think if that's only with Teslas, that's great. But then if you start putting it in more and more cars, that doesn't add anything to Tesla's, cost. Like, they've already made the software. It's just a matter of a software upload, a software download, and instantly it's in someone's car. And it doesn't matter, whatever brand it is. So, and it's really, really ahead of everyone else, okay? So, again, I've kind of gone off on a tangent here, but these are some of the things that we should, kind of look at when we're investing in stocks. So, yes, they missed EPS. Yes, their margins were lower, but they're ramping up their factories. They have new models coming out, and they have new products coming out. Their full self-driving is really accelerating fast into something that'll be, that's going to be one of the most game-changing pieces of tech ever. And then, on top of that, they're talking to other car manufacturers about using their software. So that means that, in the future, when Tesla's the only thing that's holding back their production is the number of batteries they can make, right? So the number of batteries they can make really limits them. That's really the main limitation. So that means that in the future, when they, actually, before I go on, like they actually have a few different companies like Panasonic, LG, C8, Cattle, and in China, and these companies are making batteries, and then Tesla's also making their own batteries to supplement the supply, and because that's how battery strapped they are. So when you look at EVs, you have to say, well, wait a minute. If they have a cool car and they want to put it in production, how are they going to make that many batteries? Because Tesla is already using a lot of these companies, and they're already strapped for batteries, right? So, so it's really important to look at that. And I think in the future, because Tesla's so far ahead, once they kind of get everything ramped up and they're able to, make 10 million, 20 million cars in the future. Yes, that is the estimate by 2030. Then basically, they'll have enough batteries, hopefully, to be able to sell to other manufacturers. So think about that. So they're a battery business, they're a software business, they're a EV filling business. I mean, and also they're building their own machines that make their machines. I mean, and on top of that, they make cars, and they make solar panels, they make batteries for storing that kind of stuff, all of that. So that's why I'm so heavily invested, and that's why Wall Street Bets came in. Hedge funds had this little battle, made the whole market come down. I said, okay, I'm going to swoop in and buy more, because I thought anything below 800 is a bargain. So, and where does Tesla stock currently sit at? It's at 834, whereas on today's Monday, on Friday it closed at 788. So, it already recovered quite a bit. This is really great. So, anyways, I babbled on for long enough. I hope you got something out of this. Please comment below if you have any questions or things you want me to cover in the future. I definitely will talk about options. I'll talk about other strategies. And no, I did not forget about the portfolio that we have for Money Jungle. I'm going to do videos and about that and update kind of where we are on that. But I had to get on here and just talk about this stuff, okay? And don't forget, Webull, my link is down below if you want to help out my channel. Subscribe and sign up for Webull, get your 4 free stocks, and I'll get some free stocks. And but if you just want to do it on your own, that's fine. And then give your link to other people, then you get free stocks too. This is how we do it. This is how we build wealth. This is how we build money. And please like this video, please subscribe, please share, and any feedback is welcome. I check out all the comments and everything. All right, so much love to you, Money Jungle fam, and I will see you on the next video.